Disney Pixar Storybook collection. Oh. WALL-E. WALL-E stood for Waste Allocation Load Lifter Earth Class. His job was to compact the trash humans had left behind when they abandoned Earth. WALL-E was lonely. He wanted someone to love. One day, WALL-E was compacting and cubing trash when he found something special. It was a plant. That night, another robot landed on Earth. WALL-E fell in love with the sleek new robot at first sight. Her name was Eve. WALL-E followed Eve everywhere she went. Finally, he realized that she was looking for something on Earth, but she wouldn't tell him what it was. He took Eve to his home and showed her all the treasures he had collected from the trash, but none of them seemed to impress Eve. Then WALL-E remembered the plant. When he showed it to Eve, he stored it inside her chest and shut down. When he showed it to Eve, she stored it inside her chest and shut down. WALL-E shook Eve, but nothing happened. No matter what he did, Eve would not wake up. The next day, Eve's ship returned. WALL-E did not want to lose Eve. He climbed onto the ship and held on tight. The spaceship docked inside an enormous ship called the Axiom. When Eve emerged, a cleaning robot named Mo scanned her. "Foreign contaminant," Mo said. He shuddered and started scrubbing her. Then another robot named Gopher approached. He moved Eve into a transporter and began to drive away. WALL-E followed Eve to the bridge. A robot pilot named Otto was guiding the ship. "Probe 1 has returned positive," Otto told the captain. Eve's plant had set off the ship's sensors. It was time to return to Earth. But when Eve opened her chest, the plant was gone. "The probe must be defective," the captain said. "Send her to the repair ward." WALL-E followed Eve to the repair ward. He did not understand. He thought the robots were hurting Eve, so he tried to rescue her. The other robots chased him away. Eve led WALL-E to an escape pod and helped him inside. Suddenly, they heard something approach. It was Gopher. He had the missing plant. Setting the plant in the pod, Gopher went to the controls. When he turned around, WALL-E was holding the plant. Gopher hit a button, sending the pod and WALL-E into space. Eve opened an airlock and rocketed into space after WALL-E. She did not know that Gopher had set the pod to explode. As the pod blew up, a fire extinguisher sputtered by. Hanging on it was WALL-E. He had saved the plant. Eve leaned her head against WALL-E's. A spark passed between them. WALL-E and Eve snuck back onto the ship and climbed through the trash chute. Eve burst into the captain's quarters. She opened her chest to reveal the plant. The captain was thrilled. "We can go back home," he cried. Pressing a button, the captain viewed Eve's memories of Earth. All he saw was trash, but Eve saw memories of WALL-E protecting her. The captain stared at the plant. Trash or no trash, he was ready to go home. But Otto refused to turn the ship. The robot pushed a button, and a man appeared on the captain's screen. Operation Cleanup has failed, the man said. Go to full autopilot. Do not return to Earth. The captain stared at the date. The message had been recorded 700 years ago. 700 years before. Otto beeped an order, and Gopher appeared. He snatched the plant from the captain and threw it down the garbage chute. As if by magic, the plant reappeared. Wally had caught it. Otto attacked Wally, throwing him back down the chute. Then he shut down Eve and dumped her into the chute too. When Eve rebooted, she and Wally were on a garbage heap. Wally had been badly hurt in the fall. Earth, he said. Eve understood. The parts to fix Wally were back on Earth, inside his truck. Eve scooped up Wally, blasted a hole in the ceiling, and took off. Meanwhile, on the bridge, the captain jumped Otto. With a huge lunge, he slammed a button on the console. On the deck below, a holodetector popped up, ready to accept the plant and begin the trip home. Otto threw Captain to the floor. Desist, he cried. Otto spun his wheel, and the ship tilted dangerously to one side. Uh-oh. The ship's passengers fell out of their hover chairs and slid into a giant pile. In the confusion, Wally dropped the plant. It was buried beneath the passengers. On the bridge, Otto switched off the holodetector. It began to retract, but Wally wedged himself under it. Otto was angry. He reversed the holodetector, damaging Wally and snapping off his joints. Poor Wally. Suddenly, the captain stood up. He reached for the control panel, flipped the auto button to manual. And flipped the auto button to manual. You're relieved of duty, he told Otto with a smile. On the deck below, Eve found the plant, shoved it into the holodetector. The computer recognized the plant and set a course for Earth. When the ship touched down to Earth, Eve hurried to Wally's truck. She quickly installed a new circuit board in the robot. Wally's eyes opened, but there was no life in them. He moved about mechanically collecting trash. He wasn't the same Wally anymore. Desperate, Eve took his hand. Their heads touched, and a spark passed between them. Eva? Wally asked. Wally! Eve cried. Back at the ship, the captain found a spot free of trash and dug a hole. He gently placed the plant in the ground. Eve took Wally's hand. Together, the robots and humans watched the sun set on their new home. Remember, anyone can find love, even robots. See you later. Bye.